Dear students, practice makes a person perfect. We all know that if we practice every day, right, we will definitely become a perfect person in our life. So keep practicing your lessons every day. So let's begin with chapter 4 today, soil and its types. As you also know, I also know that we have finished this chapter, but recap is very important. So today we will do recap, reading and understanding of the chapter again, right? After doing this, you will be very much clear about the concepts of this chapter. So let's begin with what is soil. Children, in the previous videos you have seen, right, that what is soil? Remember? Okay. The topmost layer of the earth on which the plants grow is called soil. Now you see plants outside, where do they grow? They grow in the soil, right? It is impossible that plants can grow without soil. So soil supports the growth of plants. It also provides air and water, right? It also provides important nutrients for their growth. So let's begin reading. Open page number 25, chapter 4, soil and its types. Now the difficult words you have to underline and write the meaning with me. Soil. The uppermost layer of the earth is called soil. Plants grow in soil and provide food for all animals as well as humans. Soil not only supports the plants but also provides water and essential minerals for their growth. Essential means important. Minerals are the natural substances which are present in the soil. Natural important nutrients which are present in the soil. Now children, there are certain things which are man-made, right? Like your car, scooter, TV, right? All this pen, these are all man-made, right? But there are certain things which are naturally gifted to us, like air, right? Sunlight, these are natural gifts, right? So minerals are also the natural substances which are present in the rocks, right? So these are very important for the growth of the plants. Got it? So if somebody says what is minerals, natural occurring substances which are present in some solid form. Soil formation. I discussed with you that millions of years ago, right, our earth was a big ball of hot gases. Gradually what happened? After few years it cooled down and it had layers of rocks, right, which heated up, cooled down, heated up, cooled down, and then due to the heat of the sun, right, strong winds and rain, they started getting, big pieces of rock started getting crack on it, right? And then let's discuss then what happened. Long ago, the surface of earth was covered with huge rocks. The rocks broke down into smaller pieces. How? Due to the action of the sun's heat, rain and wind. This process continued for a long time and eventually the rocks broke into small pieces. Finally, small pieces turned into tiny particles. These fine rock particles were carried to other places by water and wind. With the flow of water, with strong blowing winds, right, these particles were carried from one place to another. So the movement from one place to another caused these rock particles to rub together. So when they were moving with the flow of water, with the strong winds, what happened? They moved and rub together. Then this made them even more finer. Thus, it led to the formation of soil. Thus, these tiny rock particles form soil. I gave you in the previous video an example of a brick, right? You don't have to do yourself at any point of time, right? Only the parents can show you, or you might have seen it, right? When the brick falls down, what happened? It breaks into small pieces. Some pieces are big, some are small, and some are more small, very, very tiny, and some are in the form of soil, right? So even the bricks are made of soil, totally crushed, right? So that is how the soil is formed. With the passage of time, plants started growing in the soil. After that, what happened on earth? Slowly, plants started growing on earth. Many types of insects, worms and other organisms also started living in the soil. When plants and animals died, their body remains got mixed up in the soil. Now what happened? Then plants started growing in the soil. After that, insects, worms and other organisms also started living on earth. And when these plants and animals died, their body remains, right? The pieces of their body, right? Dead plants, they got mixed up in the soil. So the dead plants and the body of dead animals mix up in the soil. The dead plants and animal matter in the soil is called humus. So humus means the dead matter of plants and animals. This humus makes the soil fertile. Fertile means it makes the soil, right, more good for growing crops, right? The soil gets better and better. Now, in Hindi you say fertile, उपजाऊ, right? बहुत ही अच्छी हो जाती है उससे आपकी soil, right? And the crops grow better and better. Soil contains air and water. You have seen in the previous video one experiment also, right? So let's discuss how soil contains air and water. Tiny particles of soil contain air and water along with useful minerals. Minerals are again natural substances which are present in the soil. Essential nutrients are present in the soil for the growth of plants, right? Tiny particles of soil contain particles of soil, right? What they contain? They contain air, they contain water, and they also contain minerals, which is good for the growth of plants. You eat, na? You take protein, you take nutrients, you take vitamins in your food. Through this you are becoming strong. So plants are becoming strong with the help of minerals which they are getting from the soil. The roots of the plants, जड़ जिसको आप हिंदी में कहते हैं, the roots of the plants absorb minerals. Absorb means it takes inside minerals and water from the soil. So the roots of the plants, what do? They take inside minerals and water from the soil. While the organisms, I remember I told you living creatures in our environment, right? Like earthworm, bugs and beetles, they live in the soil and they use the air present in the soil for breathing. So soil is useful for them also because they are getting air also from soil for breathing. Now children, on page 26 we have done this activity. I have shown you this experiment. Remember the topmost layer in this jar is humus, that muddy water which I have shown you, right? That is humus. Next layer clay, next is sand, and the last one is stones settled down. So let's come to now types of soil which we did. Page number is 27. Remember which types of soil we have done? Yes? Okay. First was sandy, second was clay, and the third was loamy. And I also told you that soil also has different colors, right? Some are light brown, some are dark brown, some are even black. Now in this class 3, you will do only 3 types of soil: sandy, clay and loamy. Let's start with sandy soil, page 27. Soil that contains lots of sand is called sandy soil. Remember when you were going in the play school, right? When you were going in the play school, you were also playing in this soil, right? With the toys. So this is called sandy soil. The particles of sand are big and there is a lot of space between them. Hence, sandy soil contains a lot of air. It has a lot of air present in it, as the particles of sand are also big, but it cannot hold water. Rainwater seeps means leaks through sandy soil quickly. Sandy soil is found in deserts and on the beaches. So you find this type of soil in, where do you find? On the beaches and on desert area. Next is clay soil. So for sandy soil, you have to remember one thing, that it contains lot of air. The particles of this soil are big, but water leaks through sandy soil. It cannot hold much water. And where it is found? On deserts and on beaches it's found, right? Next come to clay soil. Clay soil is smooth and soft. It is very fine soil, very smooth, right? In this soil, the particles are very close to each other. This soil can hold a lot of water, but it cannot trap much air. It is used by potters to make toys and pots. It is also good for making bricks. If you discuss with your parents or grandparents, they may tell you that they have made even toys with the help of this soil, right? Potters also make this pots, and even you have seen during this Ganesh Puja, the idols of God are made with the clay soil, and these are eco-friendly, we say environment friendly, right? You don't have to go nowadays, it is not good to pollute, rivers. So what do you do after worshipping? You take water in a bucket, and then you put that idol of God in it, and it dissolves in it, right? And then you can pour that water even in your garden. So in this way, these idols are also made of clay soil. Next come to loamy soil. Loamy soil or loam is a mixture of clay, sand and a lot of humus. It can hold both air and water. This soil is very fertile. It is best for growing plants. So the question can come, which soil is best for growing plants? What is the answer? Loamy soil. So loamy soil, it is a mixture of clay soil and sandy soil, and it holds both air and water. Soil and crops. Now how soil is related to crops? Let's come to this. Different types of soils are required for growing different types of plants, right? For different plants, different types of soils are needed. Some types of plants need clay soil, while some need sandy soil. So it depends upon the which type of plant you are growing. That matters truly on which kind of soil is also needed for that particular plant to grow. The farmers therefore keep the type of soil in mind before deciding which crops to grow in their fields, right? Suppose if I am a farmer, what I have to do? I have to keep in mind that which crops I should grow in my field, right? And depending upon the soil, right? To help plants grow better, manure is added. Now what is manure? Children, manure is a mixture of cattle dung and decaying leaves, and it also contains humus in it. Mixture of cattle dung. Dung means waste of cattle, right? And decaying leaves, the dead leaves. And humus, dead matter of plants and animals, right? So manure is used by the farmers in the field to grow their crops better and better, right? So it makes the soil fertile. In Hindi you say upjao, right? And in English the word is fertile. It makes the crops grow better, right? Soil and living things. How soil is related to living things? Let's come to this. Many organisms live inside the soil, such as earthworms, ants and worms, right? Soil, now organisms. Let's come to organisms. Living creatures in our environment are called organisms, right? So ants, earthworms, you must have seen, right? You can see them. They live in the soil. Soil is also a home for small animals like rabbit, mouse and snake. What do the rabbits and mice do? What they do? They dig burrows inside the soil to protect themselves and their young ones from the harsh weather. Harsh weather means bad weather, and they protect themselves from their enemies. So they dig burrows inside the soil. These animals also store their food in their homes under the soil. Now, some microorganisms, I'm using the word organism, then I'm saying microorganism. Micro means very, very, very tiny, right? Which you cannot see with the help of your eyes. You need microscope to see that, right? So with eyes, you cannot see. Microorganisms are also living, but you cannot see them with your eyes. You need microscope, right? We can see these microorganisms with the help of a microscope. Now what do? Some microorganisms break the dead leaves. They break the leaves, dead leaves and dead matter of animals into simple substances, and thus they make the soil fertile. So we can see these microorganisms with the help of a microscope. The earthworms also helps in making the soil fertile. How? I tell you. Now when you see, suppose earthworms are there in the garden soil, it means that they are good actually for, they are making the soil fertile. It's a good point. How? What do? They go deep inside the soil and they bring up they mix the layers of different soil, and thus they makes the soil fertile, right? So next is usefulness of soil, page number 29. We know that crops cannot be grown without soil. You all know now that crops need soil to grow. Besides supporting the crops, soil is also useful for us in many ways. We make clay pots with soil. The art of making clay pot is called pottery. So pottery is the oldest form of art. You must be knowing if you discuss with your grandparents, right? They used to cook in the vessels made of clay. So the first cooking vessels were clay vessels in the beginning, long back. There was no steel, right? No this melamine crockery. So our ancestors, they all used to make food in clay vessels, right? Earlier the houses were made of clay or soil. You see the vessels, right? See bricks made of clay soil, and this is mud house in villages, right? The strong bricks that we use in making buildings are made of soil. Okay, children? So I hope now this chapter is definitely clear to you, but still I am saying again that you have to see the videos minimum 2 times, and if you don't understand anything, stop the video there and then again replay and see again. Then you will be able to understand the chapter, right? Enjoy, keep smiling and study every day. Till next video, goodbye.